Thank you for joining us for the International Passivhaus Open Days Meet the Affiliates, the European session. We have quite a few affiliates here today to introduce. We have the German affiliates who'll be talking a bit about the history of Passivhaus and its growth from its German start across Europe. Then we will also be discussing what's happening in Ireland at the moment, and we have a video from our Spanish affiliate to show you all. So at its core, the International Passivhaus Association is a member organization, and we're also a global network of Passivhaus stakeholders. And we managed to be so global thanks to our 22 affiliate organizations, as well as our individual members in over 50 countries. So today's event will be quite interactive. So if you could all grab your mobile phones and go to sli.do. There is no .com, it is just sli.do. You will see on the front screen a section where you can type in this participant code, 905274. So in the box that says enter code here, please enter that code.
Georgia?
Yeah?
Can I do with a browser as well, or do I have to do it?
Of course, you can also do it with the browser. Works on both.
Mm.
And so you'll see the code on the left in the moment, so don't panic if you haven't typed it in yet. And oh, it is not wanting to run the slides. That's strange. All right. Well, I will get that working in the meantime, and then I will have that up and running for you in the next moment. For now, I wanted to say a big thank you to all of our affiliates, not just for today, but for all of the work throughout the year and the cooperative efforts. We'll go into a lot of those today, but a big thank you to the Passivhaus Association of Ireland, to, of course, the PEP, Plataforma Edificación Passivhaus. My Spanish is not great. And of course, IG Passivhaus, a German affiliate, who are joining us this morning. So I think without further ado, we'll show the video.
It's a pleasure for us to participate in this International Passivhaus.
I've lost the sound, Georgia. I think
Georgia,
you need to
the sound. Yeah, the sound is only coming via your microphone. Please switch on your microphone.
Ah, this is good to know. If everybody else could please switch their microphones off.
I am here as a representative of the Spanish Passivhaus Association, which is called Plataforma de Edificación Passivhaus. Our association is led by 9 board members, which are elected annually. You can see here their smiling faces, including Bruno Gutierrez, who is our president. We also count in our team with 3 staff members, Daniel, Rosalia, and Laura, and with 15 regional delegates, which are really important in order to spread the Passivhaus standard among all the regions of our country. In total, we have 851 affiliates, which are the heart and soul of our association, and a total of 78 sponsors, which, as you can see, we classify in 3 different types of sponsorship: premium, technical, and company, depending on their compromise and engagement with our association. Passivhaus has been growing a lot during the last years in Spain. In total, we have more than 171,000 square meters certified in 161 projects. And which is more important for us, this means that we have avoided the consumption of 6 million kilowatts per hour and the emission of 1,146 tons of CO2, which is equivalent of the absorption of 114,000 trees. Per year, all this data per year. And our estimates for the next 2 years is more or less that we will have around 300 projects and more than 368,000 square meters certified, which will mean avoiding more than 2 million kilowatts per hour and more than 2,000 tons of CO2 per year. That's the double of the numbers that we are managing now. So among all these 161 projects that we have certified now, we would like to give you a glance of some of the most remarkable projects. Here there are some examples of multifamily dwellings, both private, as you can see here, examples in Madrid and in Nájera, La Rioja, but also public ones, public housing developments. And here you can see examples in Navarra, in País Vasco, in Madrid, or in Asturias. Also, we have multifamily buildings certified as ENERFIT, so retrofit buildings, which is very interesting too. We have a project in Girona, for example, or in Asturias, but also public social housing developments with ENERFIT certification. So here you can see an example in Teruel or in Alcañiz. Apart from multifamiliar buildings, we also have very interesting projects for offices that are certified with the Passive House standard. Here you can see 2 examples in the region of Valencia. Health center buildings, both private, as this example in Zamora, a nursing home, but also public ones like Lodosa Health Center in Navarra. Hotels in Asturias, in Galicia, in País Vasco, and public buildings. Public buildings is probably one of the most important changes that we have noticed in our country. Nowadays, it's more common to find public buildings certified than it was in a couple years ago or 3 years ago. So here you can see an example of a public library in La Rioja or a Europe Concert Hall retrofit in Vitoria with the ENERFIT certification. Lastly, I would like to invite you all to our next conference, our Passive House conference, that will take place in Murcia in the south of Spain in late October. We are now in our call for papers process, so I encourage you to send to us all your interesting Passive House papers and save the date. From the 21 to the 23rd of October, we wait for you in Murcia in Spain. Thanks for your attention. Gracias.
Wonderful. Now we're just going to see if we can get this working now. It should be, and I see no understanding. No, I cannot get this working. Okay, well, we will just move on from the quiz. I am a little disappointed, but of course we will make it work. Then let's see what. So coming back to the next section, we have Barry from the Passivhaus Association of Ireland. I will stop sharing my screen for a moment so we can actually see him while he speaks to us. And he'll be letting us know about all that's happening in Ireland. And there are definitely some exciting updates from over there.
Thank you, Georgia. So welcome, or hello to everyone. This is me speaking from Ireland. So I'm here to just sort of give an update on sort of recent developments that have been happening on our side of Europe. We've some really exciting things happening. Across the community, you might have seen we've been running a Passivhaus Live series. The last of those events is coming up on the 1st of July. And that'll actually be myself presenting on the Earn campus, which is our new Passivhaus premium building, and I'll come to that in a moment. So that's been going really well for us, and all of the previous sessions are recorded as well, so we can watch them back on the Passivhaus Association of Ireland website. So I'd encourage you to have a look at that. We've had very good speakers in Tomás O'Leary, Simon from our board, and also John from the board as well, with some really interesting projects. So really the update is across 3 real developments, and the first one to kick off on is it would have to be I work for Southwest College, who are the client of and owner of the new Earn campus building. We believe it's the largest Passivhaus premium building in the world in education. So we're very, very proud of that. The building will officially open in September. But we have had it certified, and we had a presentation of the certification with the First Minister for Northern Ireland and the Minister for the Economy just at the start of the month. So we're really, really happy with that. And as I said, the presentation and a bit of an overview will be happening on the 1st of July with that. Other developments that are happening with us are really around here in Northern Ireland. There's a lot of good work happening from the board on the lobbying efforts, and one of the things that we were starting to see the fruits of our labour with that is a private developer based in Belfast is going to take on a scheme of about 220 homes in Belfast, in the greater Belfast area. Now, that is a big development in terms of, you know, breaking the glass ceiling and sort of having this, you know, exemplar project that the Earn campus is in Northern Ireland, but also then having this other twin track approach where, you know, the private sector starting to move forward and look at certification of Passivhaus, both to the low energy standard and to Passivhaus Classic. So that's a really exciting development for us as well. And then south of the border, we have the Land Development Agency for Ireland are also moving with a really, really exciting development as well. In Shangana, we have what will be just over 600 unit apartments, and I'm told this might be the largest urban Passivhaus development in the world when it's complete as well. So that's another really, really exciting project, and we hope to be able to present on that in the autumn time through the Passivhaus Association of Ireland website, and going to run another series of these live events. So that's really an update on everything that's been happening with us. There is also really exciting developments coming in the autumn with the COP26 conference, with my workplace being in Northern Ireland and stuff like that. There's a lot happening in the UK around that, so we intend to be part of that as well. So that's an overview really, Georgia, on what's happening with us.
That sounds fantastic, and I think we can delve into some of the larger projects in a moment. I think, though, first, Sabina and Berthold are both from the German affiliate. Berthold is actually from PHAI and might be able to share some updates directly from PHAI today as well. So could either of you tell us what's been happening in Germany?
Yeah, if you make me present, I have prepared a very short presentation, but I can show it. At least I prepared it, so I can show it. Okay. So you see it. Okay, now I have to start it. Okay. Yeah. So I hope you can all see it. So the IG Passivhaus network was the first network of its way. In 2003, it was founded, and as Wolfgang Feist and the staff decided that the knowledge has to be spread and made available for all around the world. So this was the main reason of founding networks, to offer all the knowledge gained at the Passivhaus Institute. And also there is this our knowledge database Passipedia, and also of course the webpage of the Passivhaus Institute. The most important things to come is the award ceremony. We have the Passivhaus Award 2021, and we had 68 submissions from 19 different countries, and the winners will be presented at an award ceremony on September 10. This will be broadcasted as a live stream from the historic City Hall in Wuppertal, of course in the context of the 25th International Passivhaus Conference. Yeah, so we will keep you informed on this. And very new, probably you don't know, but for the Germans, the Federal Constitutional Court declared that the German Climate Protection Act is unconstitutional in parts, and therefore the Passivhaus Institute has now released a position paper with some core thesis on for the building sector. You can find it on the webpage, and our press officer is preparing to translate this into English as well. So just that you know. And just the IG Passivhaus offers mainly four Passivhaus evenings a year, and this is always online and free for members and everyone who wants to join. And this is our next will take place the 1st of September 2021, and it will deal with embodied energy. So this is quite successful, has been quite successful. Of course, we started offering this Passivhaus evenings in Darmstadt, and of course only for persons would assist living close to Darmstadt. And now thanks to COVID, we have to say we are offering them online, and we reach a much broader audience, and therefore we will keep offering them online. Yeah, so this is the most recent news from IG Passivhaus, and now my colleagues Berthold and maybe Jessica, they can add some more information from the Passivhaus Institute. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sabina. Some excellent and exciting updates. And perhaps something worth noting, a lot of our affiliates around the world offer local Passivhaus evenings. As Sabina mentioned, that one that she mentioned is of course in German. There are also Passivhaus evenings in Austria, which is also German, but Austrian German. And then we have lots of different affiliates offering various sessions locally as well. So do check that out with your local affiliate. And if in doubt and you speak a few different languages, check out the affiliates in other countries too and see what they're offering. And then as well, you touched on the white paper that the Passivhaus Institute is preparing to counter some of the decisions by the German courts. A lot of our affiliates also have white papers, so position papers describing how Passivhaus can be implemented at the policy level. So do get in touch with your local affiliate if you are interested. And of course, iPHA maintains a list of various papers, research and policy, and of course, just anything that may be of interest to Passivhaus enthusiasts. So over to Berthold. As I've mentioned, he works at PHAI. He's actually been at PHAI since almost the beginning, as far as I know. So a lot of history to tell us about. And I guess I wondered, Berthold, if you could start today by talking a little bit about how Passivhaus has developed from those early days.
Well, Passivhaus has developed a lot since that. The main thing, I think, we checked and we got the components from them. You know, in the very beginning, Wolfgang Feist and his team, when building the first Passivhaus building, together with the architect, they had to struggle just with the components to get. So the simplest was to have the 2 layers of insulation. So on that time, you got only 12 centimeters maximum, but they needed 24. So they did 2 layers. That was comparable, simple compared to the windows. They had to add some people say it ugly, extra extensions to these standard windows they got from that time. And they had to do it by special design and by their hands work, yeah, to get it. No craftsman was willing to do it. And the same with the ventilation system. They got the components together, a fan with a very low electric power consumption and a heat exchanger. And they checked, well, the heat exchanger did not work properly. And they were, they did not know from the beginning, but then Wolfgang realized that just the airtightness of the system was not good enough. So, and this may look from today as a simple thing, as we know where to look for, but on that time it was really pioneer struggle to go for. And this is what we really can mention today. You have all those people who want to go for Passivhaus. Yes, they have to learn what to check and what the quality checks and so on. But in principle, they can rely on that work, what the pioneers and the companies from that time to nowadays did and developed and so on. And you can check your our component database, and you have plenty of choices to go for this and that.
No more need to DIY some of the parts, as
no one. Well, and one of the most interesting things I think is, as we are now going first to Southern Europe, so to a further climate zone, starting in Germany. You know, the German climate is quite simple. You have just a winter time where you wrap and you to reduce heating energy. You wrap your building, but if you go to southern warmer climate zones, it gets really challenging about what to do with cooling. And this is what we learned the last about 10 years. Yes, if you go to Florida, it's hot and humid. If you go in China to the south and maybe southern Asia, and now we are starting to go to India. Maybe Jessica can talk about this a little bit more later. It's really interesting what's happening there, and we learned very much with that. Just to check with humidity. So you mentioned before, if you have a dry and hot summer, you can bear it easily. But if you have a hot and humid summer, you have to go for good climate indoors with an air conditioning system. And now the challenge is how to design the air conditioning system so that it's working with a reasonable energy consumption and a reasonable power. Well, very short words. I think there are many interesting aspects, and well, so far for now.
No, that sounds great. And you're also here to join us today to talk about other new developments that might be happening in Germany. So I'm just going to share my screen once more so we can go back into the PowerPoint so that we get the questions. I did, for the record, eventually get Slido working. So we'll use that in a moment for the quiz for today. But just so that you're all aware that it's working. So Berta, perhaps you can jump in first and tell us about any new interesting building projects happening in and around Germany.
Oh, I'm a little bit sorry about the buildings, the concrete buildings. I'm not really prepared to. Sorry for that.
No problem. Perhaps I can jump in. We've got quite a few new and interesting projects that'll be presented at the 25th Annual International Passive House Conference later this year.
Yeah.
That's happening online and also in person in Wuppertal, Germany. And in North Rhine-Westphalia, there's quite a few nice buildings. There is new accommodation for a boarding school, which is very nice, partly wood build. It's a very exciting project by Valentin Architecture, if I have that right in my head, in Munich, an entire new what would be the word for that? A whole new development, exactly, a whole new quarter. Perhaps I don't know, Sabina, do you know enough about that to mention something?
Not very deeply, but they are both in the project database. You can find them, and it's a very big quarter, and not only Valentin Architectures were there, also Nest and quite others participated to build passive houses on that area, and they applied. What I can say is they applied all for the Passive House Award. So we will be, we can be very excited, and yeah, we will see if they are among the winners.
And one of the most interesting parts about that quarter is that it's a wood build, right?
From Valentin in Munich, yes, it's a wooden construction.
Excellent.
And it's quite interesting from detailing. They had to develop some new things. It's quite good. They made the process more effective altogether.
Yeah, and maybe we can. The additional information is that they received the first plug for a Passive House quarter.
True. So
District.
the Passive House Institute
District, yes.
now, exactly. The Passive House Institute now offers placards for that. No, I just made a German word English. Little signs or badges for the building that are now available in Passive House quarter options or Passive House districts. Pivoting over to Ireland, perhaps you can tell us a little bit about this new campus building, Barry.
Yeah, our new campus building, as I sort of alluded to, we're very, very excited about. It's let's see, what would you say? Yeah, so it's a large curved building. I don't have any slides. It's a large curved building facing out onto a river or a lake in the town of Enniskillen in Northern Ireland. As I said, it's Passive House Premium, so the entire roof is covered in PV panels. But the building is very, very attractive in its shape and form. It is, as I said, a slightly curved building with a glass facade, with a lot of brise-soleil on the front. So as I said, on the 1st of July, I'm doing this technical presentation on it with PHAI. So that's really the event that will be an overview on it. What else can I say about it? It's designed for about 500 students is the design occupancy of it there from preparing the presentation. We've got battery storage as well utilized, so there's lots of really interesting things. One other really unique aspect of it, which people might find, well, particularly in our part of the world, is it has a subsoil heat exchanger with over 1 kilometer of network of ducting coming into it. You know, that will provide cooling in the summer and preheating in the winter time. So I mean, aspects like that are very, very well, maybe more common in Europe, are very, very interesting for our region as well. So I look forward to presenting on it, and as I said, that's the date of that event. It'll be 8 o'clock European time, I think, on the 1st of July, but you get it on the PHAI website.
Excellent. That sounds fantastic. And for those who receive our newsletter, we should have received information about upcoming events out of Ireland as well. Moving over to new components and continuing on the Irish theme, perhaps new or older than existing components. Do you know of any locally made or manufactured Irish components that are Passivhaus certified?
Yeah, there's a company called ProAir in the west of Ireland in Galway, and they have an MVHR system certified as well. We also have Munster Joinery down in Cork, who are have certified windows, and they're manufactured in Ireland as well. We have some new developments. Some of them I don't want to speak about, but we have some interesting products maybe coming through for first-time certification as well on really on the innovation side of things. But across Ireland, then we would have a growing, even in my time from getting into Passivhaus, maybe from 2013 onwards, there has been a massive growth in the supply chain of certified components. And now, if one was embarking upon a new project, you know, and it was really interesting to hear Berthold saying about, you know, almost the homemade components at one point, all the way to now here in Ireland, you know, in the northwest side of Europe, that all of these components are readily available, nearly off the shelf in my local area. That's how much it's spread, and that is the case. So yeah, we're very well served here in Ireland, and there's more coming all the time to give diversification of products as well.
That's super exciting, and look forward to finding out in the coming you know, months and years what other products will be coming out of Ireland. Over to Berthold. Perhaps you can tell us about some of the most interesting components out of Germany.
Well, as I mentioned before, the humid climates, hot and humid climates, are challenging, and this is not here in Germany, but we have some combined system, heat pump combined with ventilation system, which can do cooling and heating all together. And what is more important, we are going to adjust all these systems to do, together with the manufacturer, to have a special drying mode. So to get rid of too much humidity in humid climates. And this is quite interesting development, what started mainly in China, but now the US American are quite interested, as you know, in Florida and southern US, it's needed as well. And so we hope there will be a good development the next few years. So to get these adopted air conditioning systems adopted to Passivhaus needs. And the challenge is not about power. So, and the principle of air conditioning is not changed, but the point is that you have to check. In Passivhaus, we need less sensible cooling power, and so the latent cooling power, the dehumidification, has to be checked in detail. So you need this dedicated drying mode, and this is a little bit tricky. But we think the engineers will work for it. And the only thing I think is we from all the Passivhaus community, the Passivhaus architect and the developers, they should make clear that they need these components. So to make clear to the industry the manufacturers that these systems are needed on the market, and so they hopefully the market player will develop it. And well, this is one further example of how to go for the technology is just to change a little bit the conventional approach, so to get it adapted to low power and low energy consumption. Well, so far.
Sounds excellent. And I think something that you mentioned that's really important is you know, signaling to manufacturers that there is a market demand for these parts, and that is growing worldwide. And as Barry mentioned, it has resulted in increasing component availability. So it's great to hear, and of course also to see those components being used in completed passive house buildings. Moving to the next question, or topic rather, it's a question about local training opportunities. So the Passive House Institute has been developing capacity building courses for quite a while now, and there are new ones expected to be rolled out in the coming years as well to expand the various course availability for different stakeholders in the construction chain. So at the moment, training opportunities include PHPP courses and PHPP Expert, that's the Passive House Planning Package, the energy calculation tool, the tradesperson course, and of course the ever popular Passive House Designer course, and I'm sure there are a few others I have forgotten to mention. So I guess the first question, Bertold first, is what local training opportunities are there for people interested in upskilling their professional qualifications?
Well, there's this mainly for the locally in Germany, we offer this designer course for architects and engineers, and we now started to have courses as well for tradesperson, so for those who have to do it on the construction side, and we hope to get the gap closed between the planning, the theoretical planning, and the a good quality construction on the on-site. Yeah, and so we hope to reach more and more people so that the knowledge is better anchored in at all the people. Well, the other is we have the international designer course every year in October. And as we did it online last year, we had a good audience, maybe even more than we had if people would have to travel. And so, well, we are going from here to there to get things better and to get things done.
Wonderful. And Barry, what training opportunities are there in Ireland?
Yeah, so I of course I work for a college, so we're offering the course, both the tradesperson's course and the designer's course. But what's actually really helpful in Northern Ireland at the moment is that this funding or this training is part funded, which is really good for registered businesses in Northern Ireland. And then of course in the Republic of Ireland, we're very lucky to have Tomás O'Leary and Mossart delivering their training on the ground, as well as offering an online version of it as well. So Ireland's very well served in terms of the formal training under Passive House. But I suppose what we've seen in recent times is with the post-COVID landscape, or hopefully post-COVID now, or you know, with the pandemic, the migration to online, we've seen that an awful lot of CPD type training, information to people who haven't maybe encountered Passive House before, this now is very attainable for them, you know, from all of the various organizations across Europe and further afield even as well. Lots of people are joining in on those, and that we're finding is generating quite a bit of interest. Another thing that's happening in the UK and Ireland that we would see coming through is the interest in embodied carbon now that Passivhaus quite well deals with operational carbon and reducing operational energy demand. But when we now look at the other side of it, the embodied carbon, Tim Martell in the UK has the PH Ribbon software, and I think there's plans to have a new software there as well in due course. But there's a lot of interest around that topic area as well. So that's it as well. And I think the last thing I would say that we're seeing on the innovation side might be as well, and particularly in this the what's it called, the Innovation Construction Centre in Scotland are doing a lot of work as well around Passivhaus, but also in prefabricated modern methods of construction and this sort of approach to delivering high performance buildings as well. So it's a very active space and very exciting. Yeah.
And you're referring to Construction Scotland Innovation Centre, or CSIC for short. They're working with us on the Icebox Challenge that'll be taking place in Glasgow next month. Moving on to questions about the Efficiency Fast campaign. This is the joint effort of the iPHA affiliate network. We are using the campaign under the motto "Efficiency, the First Renewable Energy," which that slogan actually came from our Irish affiliates. So thank you very much for that. We're using this campaign to highlight the importance of an efficiency fast approach to building and retrofits as a great foundation for sustainable and of course durable buildings. So speaking about efficiency fast, we have of course released a range of different materials that have been localized, but perhaps Barry, you could let us know what the effect of the Efficiency Fast campaign, or what your approach has been to implementing it throughout Ireland.
Yeah, we've in line with the calendar and what the affiliates have planned, we've been following that. In one respect, it's hard to measure at the moment because with the various lockdowns and everything, there hasn't been as much face-to-face sort of conversations to discuss with people how much of an impact it's making. But still, I think it's very positive. I wrote an article in the Passivhaus Plus magazine on the Energy First campaign and the Fabric First approach. For all of us inside the Passivhaus community, we've probably known that for quite a while, but again, to me it's a very good sort of slogan for bringing into play or introducing this all to people, and I feel very much that it's it does hit the sweet spot in terms of explaining it all. So yeah, the various stuff that has gone on, we've been using in as much as we can in our various presentations, much of the branding and stuff and at the end or at the start of all our events, been giving it a plug and stuff. So it's I think it's a really good campaign so far, and I think there's more to do, but there's more coming. So look forward to seeing or participating in those parts when they come along.
Indeed, and the next installment of the campaign will be out very soon. We have in time for our Icebox Challenge in Scotland later next month, an article and a corresponding infographic on the Passivhaus and the Sustainable Development Goals and how they are interlinked. Switching over to Germany, Sabina, perhaps as the head of the EEG Passivhaus, you can tell us how implementation has gone in Germany.
Well, we have received some feedback from our members, and we ordered the pamphlet that has been translated into 12 different languages, right, Georgia? So we printed out the German and the English version, and yeah, we are spreading it through our members. And yeah, it started quite well. We have received some feedback, and people like it, and they are joining us and spreading the information.
Wonderful. And indeed, we have the pamphlets are now available in 14 languages, and soon the videos as well. So now that of course, we don't have affiliates in every country just yet, but some of our members have very kindly jumped on board and translated the brochure, sorry, the pamphlet, and of course the video for us. So we now have them in French, Chinese, so Mandarin, and then of course Farsi and Bulgarian as well. So while we don't have affiliates in those language speaking regions yet, we do have members who've been very supportive. Okay, last question is, how can one, if they are not yet engaged with their local Passive House community, get in touch with the Passive House Association of Ireland and the local Irish Passive House community?
Yeah, just come along to any of our events. We're very warm and welcoming, and all the time looking to get more people involved. As I said, we were running this series as a bit of a trial for us internally. This was the first time we had done sort of like an online presence with this Passive House Live series. And I've already talked about the last event coming up on the 1st of July, but we are planning a 6-part series for the autumn time. And we're also hoping to have some events depending on COVID regulations as well, which will be face-to-face. So when they come along and you see them advertised, you know, as a call out for anyone listening to this after the event on the recording, yeah, please come along and approach us. All our contact details are on the website there, and yeah, the more the merrier. It's a very vibrant community and lots of good people doing lots of good things. So yeah, come along.
It sounds wonderful. And the same question to you, Sabina. How can professionals or people just interested in building a passive house or finding out more get in touch with the EG Passive House and the German Passive House community?
Well, of course, we are trying to gain all relevant information on our webpage. And yes, as the IG Passive House is so close to the Passive House Institute, we have there yeah, very qualified persons helping. And here Berthold is our he's very engaged in Darmstadt and the surrounding, and well, in Germany, everywhere when we, or every time we receive some inquiries of cities on communities and municipalities, we of course try to help them with yeah, all the material and of course giving some presentation and lectures, and yeah, so this has been very successful.
Wonderful. And Berthold, for those interested in finding out more about the Passive House Institute and its work, how can they get in touch with the Institute?
All right. Yes, well, for manufacturers, we are looking out for those who want to redevelop their products. For communities, as Sabine said, we have our doors open, and we are going to them to offer our services, and especially for Darmstadt, the development is quite interesting, as they got, as many other cities and countries and provinces in Germany, they got pressure from the public to react to climate change and to go for net zero or what else. So there are many so-called Beschlüsse. What do you call Beschluss? Decisions. Thank you. Decisions from the parliament and so on. It took so that the authorities and those who do, for example, buildings, they have to change their mind. They have to change their strategies, how to go for. And we recently had a good talk with the city of Darmstadt, as they start to do some new school buildings. and they hopefully will go there for a real passive house building, and we are happy to support them. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, as Bertolt said, if you are a component manufacturer, then we have a component certification department waiting to hear from you. If you're interested in a passive house project, then of course you can get in touch with our building certification or our consulting departments. And of course, if there's any scientific research to be done, we have a wealth of experienced scientists awaiting your project. So there are a wealth of opportunities to get in touch. And of course, if you're looking for local information, we highly recommend you get in touch with your local affiliate fast, as they are our boots on the ground. And often, you know, they know their local situation best. So if everyone can grab out your phone, we have a final quiz for today. And this one even works. So if you can type in your name, then you'll be able to join the quiz. Okay, so Barry and Sabina and Jessica.
The code is the 905274. Yes.
905274, correct.
Okay.
And you see some of our participants from yesterday's South Pacific session, so got to beat them. How's it going, Bertolt?
I just type in my name.
Okay, it might come up in a second. Then let's have a look. So what are iPHA affiliates? Independent member-driven passive house organizations, passive house trade associations, or official local headquarters of the Passive House Institute. Excellent. So, as we say, everyone's doing quite well. They are independent, member-driven passive house organizations. iPHA, the International Passive House Association, affiliates with unbiased local passive house associations that are open to all members, and obviously work to promote the passive house standard and benefit locally and engage with their local community. How many iPHA affiliates are there currently? 12, 22, or 32? Oh, everybody was quick there. All right, correct. There are 22 iPHA affiliates, but I'll let you in on a little secret. We are expanding this year, and we will have another South American affiliate joining the iPHA ranks and community. What is the name of the 2021 iPHA affiliate campaign? Passive House, the key to better buildings, Passive House for all, or Efficiency, the first renewable energy? See, everyone was equally quick this time. All right, seems everybody's answered. Correct, Efficiency, the first renewable energy. And as I said, we were very lucky that our Irish affiliate suggested a great motto. And the hashtag, if you're interested in finding out more about the campaign across social media, is #EfficiencyFast. When was iPHA founded? 2010, 1996, or 2008? It's a trickier one. Okay, everyone has answered. iPHA was founded back in 2010 to help bring the growing international passive house community together. The Passive House Institute was founded back in 1996, and while I'm sure very many exciting things happened in 2008, nothing new specifically was founded. And then finally, the most important question, what is a benefit of joining your local affiliate association? Is there a 2-for-1 membership to your local association and iPHA? Can it keep you up to date on local Passive House developments? Can it help you meet like-minded Passive House professionals and enthusiasts, or all of the above? Excellent. And correct again, all of the above. By joining your local affiliate association, you'll get a free membership to iPHA at the exact same price as your local membership, which will help you keep up to date on local Passive House developments, but of course also the international ones that iPHA will inform you about. And you'll be able to meet like-minded Passive House professionals and enthusiasts in your local area. So we see this time Jessica beat out Carl with his original 1 minute 4. And then a final question to you all. Are you a member of your local iPHA affiliate? Yes, no, or not yet, but planning on joining? We'd love to hear from you. And we hope you found this session helpful. So thank you to everybody for joining us today for today's session with the European affiliates, or at least some of them, of course. If you'd like to find out more about iPHA or our many affiliates, then you can check out the iPHA website for direct links to all of them, or you can, of course, Google Passive House in your local area. There's quite a lot of affiliates available in Europe, especially. We've had the most time to grow here as Passive House originated in Germany. So do check out your local affiliate association and help grow your Passive House knowledge together with your local community. All the best, and thank you to our speakers for joining us today. Are there any closing remarks from any of you?
No, thank you. Everything is good. Well,
Thank you for organizing everything, Georgia.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, this video will be available on YouTube for everyone who's interested. And to our speakers and to everyone else, all the best and have a wonderful mid-year International Passive House Open Day weekend.